recording. Okay, the recording. We are recording. So the issues here were, in my opinion, so this is what you sent me, and in the views there were the sub-projects. Okay, and these ones here were not there previously, so they were created by the import from Excel.
Yeah.
So so if I click here in the time distance cell, for this cell, this is the sub-project that it's looking at, okay? But it can look at more than one. So when we import it from XML, it's going to go into this single sub-project. So all the tasks are going to be in this sub-project. So if this is not selected,
you won't see anything.
You won't see anything, correct. So if I go File, Import, P6 XML, and then that's the file that you sent me, and I've changed nothing here, okay? So on this dialog and on this dialog here, I have changed nothing. So when you said it didn't work before, I've no idea. I could only suppose that something like this happened and you thought, oh, it hasn't worked, but in fact it has.
So it's importing then now.
So we just wait a minute and you see the importing thing at the bottom?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. I've requested it, but it doesn't come and say it's been completed successfully or anything like that. That import, the wheel stops going round and the import temperature gauge just disappears.
Mm.
And the wizard screen disappears.
Did you have?
And it's done it. You know.
Do you have the? Do you have the P6 open? I know that you would. Just so you can show me where you go from the import there.
No, you don't import it. You export it from P6, don't you?
Sorry. Export it.
So it's happened. Okay. So I haven't got. Do you want? But that's just completely noddy. You just go File, Export, XML, choose the file. That's it. There's no.
Right, okay. Right, and then you just save it
into
your end drive.
But you've done it. But you've done an XML export, haven't you? A number of times. So there's nothing. It's about where you save.
I thought them out. Yeah.
There's no special tricks in it. It's just there is only one XML file, and it's got everything in it. All the tasks that are complete, all the ones that have got TILOS export equals yes, absolutely everything. All the calendars, all the resources, yes, absolutely everything. Okay. So now you don't see it there. What I always do is I always look at the task list, because you know that something's been imported if it's in the task list. So you can, so I always go here to look to see where. So you can see the sub project here.
Yeah.
So they've all gone into that default. The one that's called default here says default.
Yeah.
With the XML, we all go into there. So if we want to see that in this dialog now, we've got to make sure that. That's got to be ticked. That could be unticked or ticked. It doesn't make any difference. And here I always say we do not want to adjust it because we've already adjusted it. So that's all of that's all of the activities on the northbound, on the southbound, because you still need to run the filter.
Yeah.
That's only showing you the ones that have got southbound or N and S.
Yeah.
If we take a single task, so that's been set in P6. The carriageway has been set in P6, so it's SB or it's N and S. So that's why you can have both. Yeah. And that's why I don't see what's wrong with doing that. It just seems by far and away the easiest.
Do you have to? Do you know when you projects? Because obviously, do you know when you task list? Can I delete if I was to re-import? Can I delete all the? Because obviously under my sub-project it says Central Reserve, southbound, northbound.
Yeah. So you select.
I can just delete that, can't I?
Of course you can. So you select one. You select one. You select one thing. You do Control A to select everything, and you hit the delete button over here, and it's all gone.
Yeah. And then I'll go re-import that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it, really.
That's it, yeah. What about your task templates? Will they all stay the same? They will do, won't they?
Well, what's going to change them?
Your legend, the thing is, the legend wasn't the same. I'm just getting a bit.
What legend?
You know, the legend at the bottom of the page. It doesn't seem to be assigned to that task template. If you
This
look at the
lot down
legend.
here. This.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so that's, you've got to create that when you've got a settled task template library, which is probably
Right, okay.
the subject of another
Conversation, yeah.
conversation, so we don't mix these two up.
Yeah.
So this, we could do another session on that, but this was based on the template library that existed.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
That I imported. And the trouble is now, if I change say the traffic management, wherever that is, traffic management. So that's that sort of railway symbol, yeah. And that's what we're seeing there. So
yeah. But then the earthworks, we've got a brown colour, and it's not saying, it's still in green and a hatch.
Okay, so we need to change that to be the one. And again, I'd rather make that the subject of a different session.
Yeah,
unless you want to do it now. Unless you want
No. It's not a biggie, Rich. It's just a.
But I just want you to become confident of making. Every time you touch it, it seems to be something's gone wrong. And it just doesn't work. And you go off and do something else that makes it even worse. I want you to get to a nice stable position where this is a straightforward process.
Yeah. Well, this should be looking good this time tomorrow anyway, because we're a bit of work in P6, and then it should be extracted in.
But I'd urge you to go, in the email, I think looking at the spreadsheet that you sent as well, or do another export to a spreadsheet, and then just, and it is a useful way of finding mistakes really, or not mistakes necessarily, but
any items missing.
So this is what you sent me. So I tend to filter that out in here and then say, well, show me all the things with. So I might take away the start and end distance. Okay. I'll call that length. And I might do the same to the date as well. And this is what won't work in Excel, because you can't. These are not. So I want to take the finish date away. Take the start date away from the finish date. Now I can do that in Excel, but I can't. I was thought for a minute I thought I couldn't do it there because that's text, not dates. Let's see if that works. I'd be surprised if it did. We see we've just gone past a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't have a so we could unfilter that and refilter that. So I want to find anything with 0 length. Or even 1, frankly, 1. What is 1 meter? You just won't. So all those have got. Well, it's going to be very, very difficult. You're going to see a line, horizontal line, maybe. There's loads of them, isn't there? I mean, so they just really won't be obvious on the diagram. And you've also got anything that's a milestone. And they've got some length, so that could be a horizontal. Could be a horizontal line. But a lot of those descriptions seem to. Oh, that's a WBS. But it's got, it says the word delete next to it, so that makes me feel
it needs to come out.
Shouldn't be there, and not required. So it's useful to see where things are missing.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you might be missing a distance, for example. So here, yeah. So again, you could find those activities that are blank. Okay, so all of those have got no start and end distance value. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's an aside to sorting out really. That's just it's not going to stop the import. What the import's going to do is under Tools, Options, Task, this bit here. If it's got nothing in the start and end distance, it will use these values to put something in there. And if it's got no task template assigned to it, it will use this one by default. And so then it's not quite as obvious when you've imported it what's missing, you know, or what you might need to look at. And I think the Excel is a great way of finding what might need some attention.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you've got a bit of an old Excel spreadsheet. I've actually gone through.
Well, of course, I know.
Most of them, and yeah. It's just I know it. Yeah. Thanks anyway. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Anything else for us?
Right. Okay. No, that's it. Thanks.
Okay. Well, maybe later in the week, if you want to do something on the legend, I can run through that.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I'll get it imported tomorrow, and then
let's see how that goes. Yeah.
Drop
me a line saying good or not.
Yeah.
Good.
No worries. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.